Welcome again to Prizefights podcast. I'm Josh. Today we talk about Canelo Alvarez versus Shane Mosley. This fight is on the undercard of Mayweather-Mosley, which reminds me why it's not tremendously useful to brag about pay-per-view numbers. Mayweather-Cotto will do much better than Pacquiao-Bradley because, one, Cotto's fan base is 5 to 10 times that of Bradley's. Maybe greater. I don't know. And two, it will be near impossible for Bob Arum to match an undercard like Alvarez-Mosley. It's not all about one individual in the main event. It's about venue, it's about the Latino market, it's about other factors. But somehow Floyd Mayweather still thinks he deserves 70% or whatever it is of the purse of a potential fight against Pacquiao. That's outrageous. It's not about you, it's about other factors. Go to YouTube and search for Ellie Setback and look at his boxing channel where he recently, I think it was 5-6 months ago, he was with Floyd Mayweather while he was training, and you'll see Floyd making a fool of himself and showing people why the world hates him. And then regarding the so-called Pacquiao-Mayweather negotiations, which fell through, he refers to Pacquiao as the little guy and says, how are they going to offer me something when I do the offering? How are they going to offer me 65 when I do better than that right here? Meaning his independent promotion. Unfortunately, Floyd Mayweather, after this fight, is going to have more justification in his mind for asking for well more than 50% of the purse. So I don't think the fight's ever going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Floyd Mayweather is too concerned about his ego and himself, and he's boxing, he's the greatest ever, he's Ali, he's everything. It really upsets me because I love the guy as a boxer, and I want to see that fight. But you got to bite the bullet. You're not the best pay-per-view attraction, Floyd. It's not that simple. Pacquiao sells tickets too. He deserves 50%. I know we're getting off the topic here, but one more thing. I'm really outraged that 45-45 was offered and the winner takes the extra 10, and Floyd said no to that. That right there shows me he doesn't want to fight. Why not call the guy out and say winner takes all? This is outrageous. But anyhow, thoughts on Saul Alvarez versus Shane Mosley. Saul Canelo Alvarez is a minus 900 to win this fight. He's a 9-1 favorite. And you've got Mosley at plus 600, which I think, if you're a betting person, isn't a bad underdog to bet on. That's a bit of a live underdog. I don't want to make excuses, but Mosley has got to stop overtraining. I think he overtrained for the Mayweather fight and the Pacquiao fight, especially the Mayweather fight. The guy was 2 weeks away from fighting Berto, and then the earthquake happens in Haiti, and Berto pulls out, understandably. But he was just too wired, took a few weeks off and trained again for Mayweather. I think he's got to relax a little bit, and he was more relaxed for the Mora fight. The Sergio Mora fight happened between Mayweather and Pacquiao, and a lot of people think that he wasn't impressive there. I disagree, and I agree with the announce team who called that fight. They liked Mosley. They said if Mosley wouldn't have showed up, he wouldn't have had anything. Mosley was chasing, he was throwing, and Mora was running. He still finished strong like he always does. I think he still has a fight left in him if he does not overtrain. But whatever happens with this fight, I would like to see Shane Mosley retire because of the damage he's taken. Too many hard hits. He's too stubborn to quit, but he needs to quit after this fight. Even having said that he overtrains and has overtrained in 2 of the last 3 fights, you are only as good as your last fight. And so I understand why Alvarez is picked to be a favorite, even though I think that that's too strong of a favorite in my opinion. I think Mosley loses the fight due to a younger opponent, a more explosive opponent. Shane seems to peter out lately. And that's dangerous when you fight big punchers, and Canelo is a huge puncher. I think Canelo would be smart to attack the body early and attack the body often. That should tire out Shane. So I've got Canelo winning this fight, even though I think it will be his toughest challenge, and Mosley has a puncher's chance. Canelo, by the way, for having not fought anyone really challenging, has a lot of fights under his belt. And he's got some championship rounds too, but Mosley, if you count him up, has, I think, a little more than double the championship rounds experience. That's something that could be in Mosley's favor if this fight goes long. And also, Canelo has been down before. Watch the fight against Miguel Cotto's brother. I think that's Jose. He went down at least once in that fight. So there's a chin advantage for Shane Mosley. That could be a problem against a big puncher like Shane Mosley. But in the end, like I said, you're as good as your last fight or two, and Mosley has not won in 3 years, and he's lost 2 of 3, and the middle one was a draw. So if Alvarez comes in conditioned, he'll beat Mosley, I think, rather handedly. And I say that as a big Shane Mosley fan. I love Shane Mosley like I love Miguel Cotto. He fights the best. He never ducks people. He's very entertaining to watch. And plus, he's a gentleman who hasn't let his fame go to his head. My heart's with Shane, but my mind is with Canelo. And we'll see you next Friday for the Prizefights podcast.